so I got out of school, and I immediately tried to open my own studio in Windsor, which not that it didn't work very well, but Windsor is just not a big enough city to be able to run a studio full time. But through that, I got connected with the guitarist of the band Stick to Your Guns. His name's Chris Rawson. I found out he lived in Windsor, and we met up, and he was trying to learn some audio stuff. And so I kind of went, okay, I'm going to try to teach this guy as much as I possibly can. And then I'd joke and I'd show him a million things. He'd go, how do I repay you for this, dude? And I'd be like, just take me on tour one day, And I would always be joking. And then he messaged me. Yeah, unless a hard unless.
Except.
Yeah, but dude, then one day he messaged me and he said, "Hey, do you think you could do front of house?" And I had never mixed before that. And I said, "Fuck, of course I can. What are you talking about? I'm a fucking pro, dude."
100%.
Yeah, and then he sent me the tour routing, and the first show on the tour was Rock am Ring in Germany, which is like
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's like it's the biggest metal and rock festival in Europe, basically.
What?
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, fuck, of course I can do that.
For sure. Easy.
And yeah, so dude, I agreed to the tour. I quit my job in Windsor that I did have to try to make me some extra money. I was working in IT. It's kind of hating my life. Because that was the only job that I could get with my education in Windsor. It was awful. But went on the tour, dude, and the first show at Rock am Ring ended up being a headlining slot at Rock am Ring. So I thought we were just going to be like middle of the day, fucking rinky dink stage. We were fucking headline spot for 90,000 people. And dude, and it was literally the first time I had been behind a board, like professionally. Like we had mixed on boards at school and stuff. But it was really like, all right, you're in the fucking deep end now, so figure it out. And the way these festivals work is that there's no sound check. You just get a line check. So you make sure you're getting all your mics, and then you're mixing as the first song. You're mixing
during the first song, like that's
And dude, it was fucking crazy, and I had many panic attacks throughout that day. And like, I don't remember. I tell everybody I don't remember a lot of the actual set just because it was such a fucking rush. But everything, dude, after that, it all just kind of made sense. Like mixing became a bit easier. And by the end of the tour, man, I was like really in my element, and it was getting compliments on my mixes. The band was getting compliments on their mixes. And I ended up meeting Knocked Loose on that tour, who were managed by the same people. Introduced myself to them. That tour ended up ending, and I got home. And another tour was Stick to Your Guns and Knocked Loose got announced in Europe. And Stick to Your Guns had already asked me to do that. So I said, of course. But then I emailed Knocked Loose's manager and just said, hey, do they need a sound guy? And they did. And it's literally been history. The rest is just
insane.
It's dude. Yeah. I tell everybody, dude, that my life changed within the span of a phone call. Pretty much. It was fucking crazy.
But it goes to show, though, because you say that, but like it was also terrifying, right? Like, not to be negative. I'm just saying, like, tons of people would have been like, too scared. You know what I mean? And I could have been one of those people. Just to be very fair, I'm really anxious in life.
You got to be a little bit delusional to say.
Dude, I'm an extremely high anxiety person, so I don't know how I'm able to do this job half the time, but I think I just have the confidence in my abilities now, but at the very beginning, there was some like my whole body just physically shaking while I'm at the board just because I'm so fucking nervous. But now it's just so exciting. Like I just have so much fun.
How'd that first set turn out? Like, I'm sure you've seen videos after the fact or feedback from the guys or from other people. Like, what, was it a shit show ultimately? Did you pull through? What was you kind of left us hanging on that one.
It's just like, it was terrible.
All I'm gonna say is that sound came out of the PA.
Okay.
That's
there's that.
Was it good sound? I don't know. It wasn't great. It was definitely a first show, if I can say that much.
Yeah.
But like I said, after that, I kind of figured out what I needed to do. Right. Yeah. I was thrown so far in the deep end, mixing a band that I'd never mixed before. I had listened to Stick to Your Guns quite a bit. They were one of my favorite bands when I was in high school. But I was very much completely out of my element for that the first 2 days at least.
Well, let's be honest. You started big too. I mean, let's just put that on the table. It's like there's a big difference between like, hey, we're gonna play like this one show. Do you want to mix at this little venue? You freaking did like like an extreme huge thing. You know, it's like,
dude. And it only got bigger after that, man. Like within that first 6 months of me mixing, like in general, we did Coachella with Knocked Loose. We did Bonnaroo right after that. Like we did like, even like within like the last 6 months, we did Jimmy Kimmel, and that feels fucking crazy to me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like there's been guys that I've been mixing alongside who have been doing this for 10 or 15 years who haven't gotten that opportunity. And I feel so lucky and so grateful to be able to be doing any of that,
Madison Square Garden must have been fucking insane. Like that's such an iconic, venue to.
Yeah, dude, and it was one of my favorite mixes too. It was like, yeah, dude. There's been a lot of crazy shit that's happened.
Were you a little bit stressed, like for the first, I guess, Knocked Loose feedback, or you kind of knew the guy? They heard what you could do, and it was just kind of, it's going to be fine type thing? Or
I was definitely nervous, just because I didn't know what they were expecting. And like I said, I hadn't mixed them before either. But the first couple shows I did with them, Brian, the vocalist, texted me and said, Matt, we need you in the green room right now, directly after one of the sets. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. I'm going home.
Yeah, tell that to an anxious person and see how they react.
Yeah. But he pulled me into the green room. He's like, hey, man, that was the best we've ever sounded. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, dude.
Don't ever do that to me again.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. But by the end of that first Europe tour that I did with them, we kind of, by the end of it, we were like, okay, I can be your guy if you want me to be your guy. And they're like, absolutely. So it's just been history after that, man. You make them happy and they never want to let you go.